Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and WatchOS 10.2 Beta 3 came out the other day, along with iOS 17.2 Beta 3 and many others as well, with VisionOS Beta 6 and more. Now I thought we'd talk about what's new, as there's a couple significant changes here, especially one that they've brought back. Now we'll talk about the watch face I'm using and the band and more toward the end of the video. Now this particular update came in at 356 megabytes. That's on my Apple Watch Ultra 2. It should be about the same size on all the others if you're running the beta. If you're not, it could be a slightly larger update. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number, and then we'll talk about what's new. We'll go to Settings, then we'll go to General, then About. The current build number is 21S5349E. I think we're a few betas away from the final release. We'll talk about that in a moment. But as far as new features, well, one thing worth noting is name drop. It looks like they've changed the animation for that a little bit. If I bring my phone over the top of it here, you'll see it goes into name drop and then sort of hovers in the middle and stays there for a while. So I'll bring that back here, hold my phone, then give it a second. It stays there for a moment. And again, if I bring it over, you can see that animation. So really you're supposed to bring it this way over the phone or over the watch with your phone, and then it sends, but you'll see that animation just takes a bit longer this time around. Now, something they've finally brought back that we've wanted for a long time since the introduction of WatchOS 10 and its betas is the ability to just swipe between watch faces. Swiping through different watch faces, whatever you have. If you want to just add another one, you can do that, but you still have to press and hold. So if you want to go over, maybe add one of the Snoopy watch faces or something like that, you have that option. So it's really nice that they've actually added that option where you can just swipe between one throughout the day. If you want something that's a little different at one point, swipe it back. However, I would love to see them actually add this maybe for focus modes. But in order to actually use this, they made this an option. If we go into Settings, we'll go back under our main settings here. And if we scroll down, we'll just keep scrolling until we get to Clock here, and they've placed it under Clock with an option to switch to swipe watch face. So if you don't want this on, you can leave it off. It's off by default, but if you do want it on, so you can easily swap between the different watch faces, just leave it on and you can use that feature again. So I'm really glad they've brought that back. Something else they've updated but doesn't fully seem to be complete is the ability to actually have Siri log health information. This was found by my friend Bram, and he actually brought this up, let me know about it, and if we tell Siri to maybe log our weight, log my weight information, you'll see it says you need to enable access to health data first. So we go to Open Health Settings, then we can actually allow Siri to access health data. Once we do that, we have to go down through Privacy, tap Done, and once it's enabled, then you can use it. So we'll try that again. Log my weight, 250 pounds. You'll see it says logged. Then if we go back home and maybe we change that to 100 pounds, it will start to average that. Log my weight, 100 pounds. And then it logs that. If we go over to our health information in the Health app, go to our body measurements, you'll see it's averaged them and it just changed to 229.2. I played around with this a little bit and we can record that information. So if you measure yourself regularly, it seems to work with that if you wanted to log that every day. If we go and log my height, it doesn't seem to be able to do that yet, but it looks like we're getting more access to health information, so that's great to see. Also, one thing that's been there with WatchOS 10.2 since I didn't cover Beta 1 or Beta 2 is contact key verification. That's something they're adding with iMessage so that you can contact someone and then verify that they are who they say they are. So you can both enable that and you can do that within your settings. So if you go into your settings and then in your Apple ID settings, if we scroll to the bottom, at the very bottom, it says Contact Key Verification. If we go into that and you enable this, it says Verification in Messages or in iMessage, and then explains what I mentioned earlier. If we try to enable this, it goes over more information where Contact Key Verification can be enabled or set up later. And if we tap Continue, it's going to check different devices that may need to be updated to iOS 17.2, as well as other versions such as WatchOS 10.2. So all of these devices haven't been updated yet. You can remove them, but this is something I haven't tried out because of this. So none of these devices are updated to the beta, and I don't want to update some of them, so I'll have to wait to try this out. But it's something that will be enabled in the future once WatchOS 10.2 launches to the public, along with iOS 17.2. Now, as far as overall performance of WatchOS 10.2, so far I haven't noticed any difference. In fact, swiping between the home screen, going into settings, going back, just going through different things, maybe opening different apps that I haven't opened in a while, things refreshing, of course, depending on your internet connection, seem to be nice and fast in general. So just loading different things that I don't typically use, load nice and fast. So that's great to see. As far as overall battery life, let's take a look at the battery health. Within battery, if we scroll down, you'll see battery health, and we have optimized charging on, and I have 100%. So this is charged every night on the stand next to my bed, and along with my iPhone, I just charge it the same exact way. My Apple Watch Ultra 1 is still at 100%, so it's holding up pretty well. And as far as battery life, well, you saw here we're at 72%, and it shows it was last charged at 8:10 p.m. So it's actually been charged about 4.5 hours ago or so, and we're down a little bit, but not too much, so 72%. So it seems to be getting me through a day, usually with 70% left, sometimes 60%, depending on how much I use it, but it will easily get me a day and a half still. I've had no issues. WatchOS 10.1 actually had terrible battery life for some people. Thankfully, I didn't experience that, but some people did, and that's been fixed with the previous update of WatchOS 10.1.1. So that took care of that for most people. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. As far as the public release of this, as many people have been asking, I would expect it along with iOS 17.2. And if we take a look at the calendar, usually early December is when we can expect it. Typically the second week of December is when we'll see that. And then we'll go on to the next betas, and we won't have a release until January typically. But I would expect this sometime in maybe the second week of December, possibly with a new WatchOS update before that if they have additional bugs they need to fix. But that's really what I'm expecting overall. As far as the watch face I'm using, since many of you ask, press and hold here, you'll see it's modular. And if we go in here to our complications, this is an app called Lumi. I paid for this. It shows you when golden hour is the best time to take photos typically. If you want to take photos of a car or just something else, you can switch it to sunrise or different things here as well, such as first light, sunrise, and more. You even have countdown to moon times and things like that. As far as this band goes, I've actually been using this for a day. I typically use a Nomad titanium band, and you'll see I have a Nomad band here that's in stainless steel, and I really just like them. They sent this along for me to check out. It's not a sponsored video, but this is actually the Nomad sport band called the Strike Watch Band. So can take a look at it there. I think it looks pretty good. Some people say it looks a little too narrow. I think maybe this stripe makes it look that way, but in general, these are super comfortable, and I just use them all the time. So I really enjoy using these. Let me know what you think of them in the comments below. I'll link to this band in the description if you want to check it out yourself, along with the titanium one as well. And I'll link this wallpaper in the description like I normally do. If you haven't subscribed already though, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.